Yeah.
And you said your background, you were a stand-up comic.
Yeah,
what is your background? I don't think a lot of people know that, or maybe they do.
Well, I mean, I came out in 1980 from Rhode Island, Connecticut, with $400 in my pocket. I was a trained street performer.
Wait, what?
Yeah. I did pantomime. I was pretty good at that.
What?
I studied from a guy who is a disciple of Marcel Marceau, this guy, Michael Grando. And I used to do these acts back in Rhode Island, and they were NC-17 mime acts. They were pretty, because it's all college. So I did a 3-way menage a trois on the stage.
Oh my God! Are you kidding me?
It was just me up there, but I would just simulate.
Me, myself, and Irene.
Oh my God! Me, myself, and Tony. Yeah.
But that was my only background. But I took a weightlifting course one semester while I was in Rhode Island, and I just noticed the improvements. My GPA went up. I mean, I was kind of a skinny, fat kid that smoked weed and drank beer and chased girls pretty much back in college. And then I took this weightlifting course, and I was like, wow, I just feel better. I have more energy. Yeah. I'm sharper. I didn't realize the mental and emotional aspects of what was going on. And then semester ended, and I kind of fizzled out. And then a buddy of mine, I was still 6 credits short. And my buddy says, what are you doing this summer? And I was going to wait tables in Boston. And he said, no, you're going to get my Gran Torino, and we're going to go to L.A. I went, okay, I only got $400. I ran out of the $400 in Boulder, Colorado. I ran out. We're sleeping in the car in Motel 6s and eating in Burger King.
Like a movie.
I know.
Yeah. Well, eventually, maybe.
It better be, because this is cool.
This is
so I ran out. So I packed. I only packed a few things. My little mime outfit with my vest, and I had the white face and the hat.
Amazing.
And I in Boulder, there's a lot of street performers.
Awesome.
I made $125 in an afternoon, and that got me to Orange County. And I slept on my buddy's sister's floor for the summer, and I did mime, and I painted houses, and I did whatever I could do.
Wow.
And I didn't know a soul except for my buddy who brought me out there. So we were just kind of hand to mouth.
Wow.
And then I did a talent show. First prize was like $2,500. Now think about that.
Yeah,
I
it's a
had
big deal.
4.
Yeah.
Second prize was $1,000. Third prize was like $500. I won the contest because I'm up there. I'm cranking Jean-Luc Ponty and Beatles songs and doing 3-way sex acts.
Oh my God!
This guy is unbelievable.
Yeah.
What a mind blower.
And the guy who won second place played the banjo. He was very talented. So we're sitting at the bar. He heard my sob story. He gave me his $1,000. So all of a sudden I had $3,500. And I called my parents. I go, I'm rich.
Yeah.
I've got, right? So I rented a place in Hermosa Beach, and we had no furniture. We walked the alleys finding furniture and mattress pads, and that was it, man. And I would do street performing, and I was a handyman and a carpenter.
Yeah.
I was a go-go dancer at Chippendales for a summer.
Wow, man.
Joe did Chippendale.
Yeah, you guys have that in common.
Maybe we met.
They brought me in Vegas. I was there for like a few weeks.
Well, this is when it was over on the west side.
Yeah.
And that was, there's more to the story, but that's how I started.
Yeah, man.
That is so crazy.
That's so cool.
Then, all right, so all this happened, and then when did you start to figure out, like, okay, I got to do something like revolutionary, like, because that's a step. I mean,
how did you get from there to
P90X?
yeah.
Like, I mean, like
How much time?
Yeah, I know.
How long?
But I mean, like, were you sitting there one day and you were like, I got to find something that is obtainable? Because obviously I grew up, and you got like the Thigh Master and all these ridiculous things, and Jane Fonda jumping around.
They were the ones that were,
But like those were so much, in my opinion, more gimmick than they were actually like tactical, where you could put those into formation and actually do it. Because the Thigh Master, I mean, everybody had. My mom had one.
I was in the Thigh Master commercial.
Yeah. Oh.
I was in the Thigh Master. There's a spot where they cut to one girl's doing this.
Yeah, with the arms, not just with the thighs, baby.
And it's like, working on her pecs. And then next to her, I was there doing this with the thigh master. And I told everybody, I'm going to be on the TV and it's about a second and a half of me. And then it was when you're the girl, right? And she's doing this, and the director would go, "Now look at her."
It's so 80s, bro.
Dude, so 80s. Oh, and I had like the lime green and pink tights on with that cut-off T-shirt tied at the waist.
Oh yeah, man.
Brilliant.
Yes, good
my
stuff.
Gosh.
One of the first acting gigs I got, because I came to town, right, and I was kind of floundering and whatnot. But I got an agent, and the agent looked at me and said, "You're looking a little pudgy in the wrong places and a little skin in the others. So get to the gym." So I joined 4 gyms. One of them was World Gym. Okay. And I was training, and I wasn't training anybody because I didn't really know what I was doing. I was at World Gym, and I would watch Arnold and Lou, and I go, 47 sets of chest seems extreme, But I would just do what he's doing. You know what I mean? I go in there and work legs around. All right. I mean, he's Arnold, so he must know what he's doing.
Trust me, this is all natural.
Fantastic. You look incredible.
Oh my God.
So and then I was very fortunate. I was working over at Fox as a runner, as a PA.
Crazy.
And I worked for a guy by the name of Harlan Goodman, who used to be in the music industry. He used to work at East End Management on Sunset Boulevard. And he managed Billy Idol, Tom Petty, and a couple other big folks.
Just a few of those people. I don't know whether you know them or not.
Yeah.
That's good.
He got out of the music business because he met Julia Phillips. Her and her husband, Michael Phillips, produced Close Encounters of the Third Kind, The Sting, and Taxi Driver.
Wow.
And now I'm running around, feeding the cats and hiding the pot and making copies and making coffee. That's, and I was on the lot. This was a big deal.
Wow.
And Harlan was because I'm going out on auditions. That's why I had the gig, because they would let me go out and audition once in a while.
That is so...
And Harlan's like, what? Damn, man, you look different in the last 6 months. Well, my agent said I look like ass, so I got to, clean up my act. He said, can you train me before we both go to work? So he and I were at my buddy's garage, which was mostly dust and rust in there. I'm surprised we ended up with some kind of respiratory thing.
Yeah.
And so...
Little staff. Don't worry about it.
And he goes, what do you, I wasn't certified. I didn't know what I was doing. I just did what I was doing because he saw what I was doing. And it was chest and back and shoulders and arms and cardio and whatever.
Yep.
He lost 35 pounds. He couldn't make a movie to save his life. Julia, was nuts. She was completely crazy. So I had I was, still painting, still bartending, still had other gigs. And I had about 3 or 4 other clients, training folks. And so anyway, Harlan decides to go back to East End Management, and I went off. I quit too because he left because Julia fired me every Friday and then rehired me every Sunday night.
We'd like you to come back. Get out, get your things.
The light bulb at the bottom of the driveway is out. You're fired. Oh my God.
Oh my God.
Actually, I need that light bulb changed. You're hired again.
Can you come back? Can you please come back?
Nobody else can do it.
I need the light bulb changed.
But to make a long story good, Harlan goes back to East End Management, and then he's there, and Tom Petty's walking down the hallway. He's smoking a cigarette because he often did. He's from Gainesville. This is a horrible Tom Petty. I apologize.
No, it's great.
So he goes, holy crap, Harlan, you look fantastic. I'm going on tour and I'm fat. Nobody likes a fat rocker. And Harlan says, call Tony Horton.
No
way.
Gosh.
So I didn't know. Phone rings. Roommate picks it up. We have friends downstairs that were practical jokers. Hi, it's Tom Petty. I'm looking for Tony Horton. Bob went, dude, it's John downstairs. And he hung up on Tom Petty.
Oh my God.
And the phone rings. Hey, we got disconnected. And Bob goes, dude, I think this is him. Give me the phone. And it was him. And the next day I was at his house. And
Dude.
Wow. And I met Tom, and I had about 4 months to get him ready on this tour. And he couldn't, he was grossly out of shape. But I got him a heavy bag. I got him a stationary bike. I got him a bench, dumbbells. And we just slowly started at it, and he was starting to cut off his sleeves of his shirt and wearing leather vests without shirts.
I remember that.
He had this period where he was super striated.
I remember that.
Tour was amazing, and then I was on tour with him. And then Billy Idol called, and then Stephen Stills called, and then Annie Lennox and Sean Connery. And,
This is the coolest
and
ever.
then,
The con man?
When
I
everybody-
didn't know you trained the con man.
Yeah, man.
Wow,
when everybody was in town, I started with Billy in the morning. I went to Tom, then Annie Lennox, then Stephen Stills, then the boss.
Oh, wow. Bruce?
On any given one, yeah. Bruce wasn't in town very often, but it was a pretty. Of course, there's no Instagram or Twitter.
Of course
No,
not.
I know, man.
there's
I know.
no evidence, so I could be making that.
No.
We've got a lot of that.
We're from that area as well.
We tell our stories.
Yeah.
People could barely check them.
Yeah.
It's like it
didn't
I'm telling you,
exist.
It's the truth,
Yeah.
I'm not looking to gain followers. It's just a story.
Well, no, proof,
Exactly
Back
right.
then it was just,
exactly
it
right.
was just your life.
Yeah.
And
proof is
today people doubt because everyone's looking for followers.
Well, the proof is in the pudding there, so to speak.
is.
It's,
Well,
there's
it
no
is.
denying it, man.
And then did you have that lightning in a bottle moment when you were like whether it was called P90X or not, but whether you were like that program, like P90X, like because that was.
Early on they were just gigs. Like I went to Minneapolis to work for Nordic Track, and so I was learning how to walk and chew gum at the same time, reading a teleprompter. They tried to hire actors, but they didn't look the part. They didn't know what kinesiology was or didn't know the difference between a bicep and a quadricep.
Right.
I wasn't very good on camera yet. I was still pretty stiff, but they cultivated me, and I went about 5 or 6 times. And then I was on the Playboy channel for a little bit.
Were you really?
As a host, a show called 360 with Tracy Tweed. And
Really?
3 cameras, teleprompters, a lot of opening bits, comedy bits, and all the stuff that she and I would do. And that was another way, just sort of getting more comfortable.
100%.
Plus, still training people, still trying to train Tom and Billy and everybody else, you know, and then other clients were coming in. And then at some point, I was doing a lot of personal development at the time, just reading every book I could, Deepak Chopra, Andrew Wild, Gary Zukav. I just wanted to be a better human being because I didn't want to be sad and depressed.
I'm going through that right now.
No kidding,
I'm going
man.
through
It changed my
journey
life.
Thanks so much for watching this clip of the Brotherly Love Podcast.
And make sure you check out the full episode on Spotify, Apple, YouTube, or wherever it is you watch and listen to your podcast.
And if you want even more of us in your life, well then join our Patreon right now for exclusive weekly bonus content. Go do it. We'll see you soon. Bye guys.